Hello, everybody. This is so exciting because, well, today in your time, it's Monday, January 31st, but I am actually recording this ahead of time. This is a test out because I want to start doing more videos. So I'm going to start live streaming pre recorded videos, which is going to be so cool and super fun because I can bring more content to you. So, what I need to know from you is this coming through okay? So, if you are watching this live, please leave a comment, say hello, let me know where you are watching from. And if you don't know me, welcome. My name is Jennifer Hart, and this is Jennifer Hart Connected. I'm gonna let me get my sign in here. And what I am doing in the world is I'm a connector. My passion is spirituality and personal development. I've been on my own journey to find and embrace my authentic self. And with that, I have tried and done so many different things that I want to bring it and connect it to everybody else who's on the same journey. Whether you're just starting to question things, you're stepping into your first spiritual awakening, maybe you don't even know you're having one yet, but if you have any questions or interest, there's something going on there, you're in the right place. And what I'm here to do is connect people together who are seeking that growth and change and, their soul's evolution basically to the people, events, info, and resources that are out there of people that have stepped into their gifts and are using them in the world. So, with that being said, today I have a super hot topic and guest that I know you guys are all going to love. And it is called Finding Answers Within Your Dreams. And we are going to be speaking with Amanda Shuman. She is a dream worker, which I thought was like the coolest name ever. I'm going to bring her on here in a minute, but I just want to tell you a little bit about her first. So she had one foot in Canada and one foot in Guyana, and she struggled to find where she was to fit in each country. Her journey of discovery led her to seek the meaning of her dream imagery, learning from wonderful teachers in Kabbalistic dream work and becoming a transformational life coach. Now she supports spiritual seekers as they navigate their soul's path, discovering their purpose and healing through the messages found in their dream imagery. As like many origins, her business began with a dream. Literally, a dream where she answered the coaching call with a clear feeling that coaching and dream work were meant to be paired together. I just think that's phenomenal in itself because we all have our own magical stories and the way that we have stepped into our own awakening and what, changes that involves in our life. So I'm so excited to bring her on. Let's welcome Amanda. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. I'm so excited.
Thank you very much for having me. This is quite fun and a favorite topic of mine. So talking about it is easy.
I had someone, I think Leah, it was Leah. She came on before and we talked about dreams. She did something a little bit different, but it was such a hot topic. People are like, what do my dreams mean? Because we all have these crazy dreams, right? And we're like, what does it mean? And we don't know what to do with it. And I'm like, I had like this tidal wave and there was a spider and then there was rats. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm so confused. And so I think it's going to be super exciting and fun to hear about it from your perspective as, a dream worker and helping people to navigate that and how they can use it in the transformation of their life. So, yay.
Yay.
Well,
That's fun.
and with that, there was something else I was going to say. I'm like, I don't want to miss it because I feel like it was sometimes I get off on tangents and then I lose my original thought. It'll come back to me and then I'll just be like, "Wow!" So first of all, we're going to talk about, and I love that you said this could be a little controversial to people and it might trigger someone. Why all dreams are good dreams? Tell us like
Yes.
why you think that all dreams are good dreams. And then I'd love to hear you speak specifically to the part like for people who have like screaming nightmares, right? I'll let you
Absolutely.
I'll
So
let you get
I
to that
definitely
one.
thank you. I definitely love the wiggle that it makes people do when I say all dreams are good dreams. I truly believe that all dreams are good dreams. And if you don't join me on that train of thought, I'm hoping that I can convince you. So, in all of my training and understanding about dreams, and this kind of bridges a couple of different directions. So I've learned Kabbalistic dream work from different sources. I have touched into dream interpretation, and I'm also trying to delve into a little bit more of this Jungian approach. And in all of them, it seems to be, even if you're doing interpretations, you really need to be careful in how you approach the topic of dreams. Because once you give it meaning, that meaning will come true. I know that's hard for people to understand sometimes, and that's also part of this hot topic. So once you give it a definition, then you have to be careful on that action, how it comes out. So let's keep it with the most positive intention as possible. You wake up, you have a disturbing dream, it really bothers you. If you confront that dream first thing when you wake up and say, all dreams are good dreams, I'm sure there's a message for me in this, it automatically lessens that angst that the dream gives you. It'll give you a little bit of confidence that there's something within that dream that can be explored and brought out in a positive way. It takes a little bit of time to practice that, but definitely if we just start that conversation of all dreams are good dreams, and even if you have a dream that you don't like and you tell it to someone who's safe, they will approach it with, oh, that is such a good dream. Because you know that there's nuggets in there that can help the person, instead of putting the added fear of, oh no, that's a terrible dream. That's not going to be nice, you know? So you want to keep it light, and you want to keep it as positive as possible.
I love that. And it's so true, because in my experience of everything that I've learned totally supports that theory, is that dreams are just messages. I mean, I have had this super scary dream that I still remember so vividly. And I had done some healing work right before I had this dream. And so I reached out to the healer and I was like, hey, like, what the hell is this? This is not cool. I'm super scared. It freaked me out. And she said, like, all dreams are messages, and you can decode the message. And if it doesn't mean anything to you, you can't figure out what that is, ask for it to be sent again in a different way. And so I thought that was really cool. And, then after that, like, my dreams changed, and I acknowledged it. And I was like, okay, this is a message. Like, it's not as bad as it was. I mean, it was really bad. It was like I saw people burning inside my house, and I had spirits in there, and it was crazy. And I was like, what's going on? And so I love that you said that. And I remember what I was going to say earlier. I was going to talk about how we met.
Yay.
I usually do this at the beginning, but I was so excited that I forgot. So I always like to say, like, how do I connect with people? Right. Because it's so interesting. Like, some people I just met, some people I meet online or at events or whatever. And so Amanda and I, you stumbled across my profile and you sent me a message. You're like, hey, I really like what you're up to in the world. And I, went and checked your profile, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like, let's be friends and figure out what you're up to too. And I like what you're doing. And I freaking love what you're doing now that I know even more about it. And so that is how we connected. The power of social media. Thank you, Facebook platform, for that. And one small side note for anybody that's like an entrepreneur or wanting to make change in the world, like, just showing up and being present and putting yourself out there, as scary as it is, it allows you to create those connections and bring together people and your dreams and everything else. So now Amanda's here getting her message out to everybody and talking about why all dreams are good dreams, which I 100% agree with. Ooh, and I have an example. So my friend the other night, I was awakened by loud bikers in my area in the middle of the night. And so I was on Instagram, like, responding to messages, and my friend messaged me back. She's like, what are you doing up? And I was like, oh, these people drove by hell loud, woke me up. And then I was like, what are you doing up? She had a nightmare, and she was so scared. So we chatted. I helped calm her down. I'm like, it's the message, and she got such a strong and powerful message from it. And she realized there were some pent up emotions that needed to be cleared. And so this dream brought it to the surface. Like, how powerful is that? And it's crazy. And as scary as it was in the moment, she feels like so much different now that she's been able to decode it and share it and do like some work around it and to clean it out. And yeah, so that's just an example where a nightmare turned into a healing, basically. Right. It's crazy.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's actually, I mean, humans are designed to help each other out. And part of this is that um, I'm trying to find clarity on how to say this. Um, when dream work and interpretation were huge many centuries, millennia ago. And so when all of that stopped, we lost the gift of dreams. We lost the gift of premonitions and forethought and that kind of thing. We were kind of living in the space in the life that we were in. When all of that left, then we didn't have to, like, we didn't have anybody to talk to because we didn't have dreams to talk about. And now dreams are coming back. And the best way to be able to have a good idea about what your dream means is really speaking to people who know you. So you can bring it to a stranger, which is me. I'm okay with that. And I can hold your space. But having the insight, even from somebody that's close to you, if they're a safe person, like she was comfortable speaking to you, Jen, then it gives you that extra person. And the lovely thing about dream interpretation is you can interpret it, you could take it to 7 different people and get 7 different interpretations, and they're all right and they'll all come true. So be
That's
cautious on
interesting.
who you bring it to.
Wow, that's really interesting, that they're all right and that they'll all come true. And then, yes, like being cautious of who you choose to bring it to. That's huge. Like, it's kind of
Yeah.
like I did a live the other day on vision mapping and talking about our big visions in the world. And as crappy as it is, I was always like, I'm not going to shut my vision down and not share it with people. But I do because people poo poo it. Like, like, oh, they put their own fears and projections onto it. And then it kind of like, it gives me a hit, like a negative hit. And so I could see that happening with the dreams is like, you're going to fail and you should probably quit your job that your big dream you're trying to do and just go back to your 9 to 5 for security. Like that's not a
Yeah.
that's not a great like perspective of your dream to have. That's actually really good point. And then the other piece before I move on to the next question that I have is what, like, when you say they're going to come true, can you speak a little more to that? Like how do they come true?
Sure. So time and space don't exist in dreams.
Yeah,
I'm just going to say that straight up.
I know. It's
And
weird,
I
but it's
guess
true.
yeah, I should probably also express um, that there's different levels of dreams. And that's also proven in science. So you've got your sleep cycles, anybody with the apps on their phone, and you can track your sleep cycles. If you're having or waking from dreams after only being asleep for about 3 hours, that's like I'm processing my day dream. So it's like I can handle what happened today. I'm putting the files in the filing cabinet. That's where that dream comes from, is your immediate what happened in the last 24 to 48 hours. Then you have dreams that are in that next sleep cycle, which usually you'd wake up around like 5 a.m. kind of thing. And those ones are usually you get a chance to look at the bigger picture of what's happening in your life, maybe a month or two back, but it deals more with those anxieties and fear. That's usually why people will like wake up with a start because there's a big scary thing chasing them, and and then they're like, oh, well, I'll just get up and go to the bathroom, have a drink of water, and then go back to bed. Those are usually the ones that are a lot scarier. They deal with more of your anxieties, more of those things that your own consciousness hasn't helped you with yet. They come definitely from your subconscious. If you get enough sleep to get to the next dream cycle, that usually is when you're waking up like after 8 or 9 hours of sleep. That dream cycle is actually more of that projection where you can go in the future, what's ahead of you, or what you'd like to see ahead of you. So ideally, you'd want to be able to look at the dreams that are in that last sleep cycle, where you've gone through 8 or 9 hours of sleep, to be able to see what your subconscious is showing you of your potential for the future. But you could look at all
Mm.
3 of them.
That's so cool. It's interesting. I have two things to say about that. So, one, I
Sure.
do, whenever I'm really stressed out in life, I always have dreams that I'm a server, because I was a server for a long time in my life. And if you've ever been a server, you know how it is when you have more tables than staff and you cannot service everybody. It is literally impossible to meet everybody's needs. And it's like I'll forget a ranch and then I'll remember like later that night or something and be like, oh, I forgot that customer's ranch. Like, and so it's interesting because you're saying like this, there's a cycle of it. So that probably happens, I guess, in the first cycle that you mentioned, like what's happening in my life in that day, and then maybe even the second cycle. But it's interesting. I always have
Possibly.
the same, like the same type of dream. So I know I'm stressed out
Hmm.
about something. And then,
I like that you recognize that in yourself, that that particular
yeah,
dream topic or archetype is actually what's it's got a meaning for you as I'm stressed out or I can't handle what's happening or
it
trying to
does.
juggle,
Well,
I guess.
yeah, because I'm stressed out in the dream. I have like that's how I felt. I feel the same way as I did in real life when that would happen to me, and it's like it's imprinted in my brain, and it just shows up in different restaurant settings with different people. But it's always the same story. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. And then as I got into that, I totally forgot my other point. Oh, I know what it
Sorry.
was. No, it's not your fault.
I'm a
I'm just like so
distractor.
excited today. Because so many more questions keep coming up, so I'm like trying to take notes. Okay, so the other thing is the subconscious piece about the creation and it coming true. So what I have heard, our subconscious mind, first of all, I say this all the time, but it is so powerful. It's like 95% of us, and the conscious mind is only 5%. And if you don't study that or look into that, your subconscious is running your life in all ways. And so dreams are a way to connect with the subconscious mind to find out what the messages are for you, and also a way to create. So I was talking to someone else about how before you go to bed, right before you go to bed, and right when you wake up, looking at information is so important, like of what you want to create. So I'm working on creating a vision storybook for myself, which is like a vision board in a story. And then every night before I go to bed, I will read my vision board story. And then when I wake up, I'll do the same so that I can help to program my subconscious mind that I am these things, I am creating these goals. And so I get what you're saying. And I wanted to add that in there because, sometimes I watch TV before bed and I'm trying to get back out of the habit of that because it's like that affects my dreams too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the Christmas holidays, I hadn't been watching TV for probably about 2 years. And my husband had me sit down and watch a TV program or a Netflix program. And the, the lack of sleep that happened therein, I was like, I can't even process what I'm watching. So yeah, after the holidays, I've just gone back to not watching TV
Yeah.
because I just can't take in that outside emotion when it isn't real. I'd
Yes.
rather help somebody in their emotions than to watch TV and take on that emotion.
Yeah, and honestly, as I've been on this conscious journey, I am so much more cognizant of what I watch. Like, I don't watch scary movies anymore. I'm like, I don't want that in my brain and in my subconscious and in my dreams and then in my
Mhm.
mind making up stuff. And movies that are high anxiety, I'm like, no thanks. Like, I'm just all about like Hallmark movies and just funny, lighthearted things. So, or positive, like inspiring things.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
you had
What was
mentioned a
the laugh
couple of,
for?
because I was thinking to myself, I'm such a good wife for like putting up with watching this show for my husband. That was my little
That's
laugh. I'm
very
like, I don't
kind
need
of
to
you.
share that.
Oh, sorry.
I
I
probably
put it out
didn't need
there.
to tell you that.
That's okay.
That's
I
okay.
admire you for that. It's quality time. So you stepped into like what he wanted to do and you did it. So I acknowledge you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you were going to say a couple things about what I said.
Oh, yeah. There was, I did not take notes on what you had said. You'd mentioned it
Yeah,
a couple of times over, and I'm like, we need to mention that, but that's okay. It'll come back out
it'll come
around if it
back.
needs to
Well, I
come.
could
Yeah.
recap the stressful dreams, watching TV before bed, but mostly putting good stuff into your mind
Oh,
before you go to bed. There you go.
that was it. Yes. I've gotten into a very regimented structure for my bedtime routine that does include like my bedroom hygiene, as well as I could still be better, but I do like to do things that help support my sleep hygiene, the space that I sleep in. I do have a routine of setting intentions or listing gratitudes before I go to bed, like list off gratitudes, things that I'm grateful for from the day or from the month, or who I'd like to bless and in what way. So I set those before I go to bed, and then have a set of nighttime prayers that I do say. And then again in the morning, I wake up and thank my source for bringing me back from the sleep realm.
Oh, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Well, we're totally gonna get into the ultimate dream routine, and I'm like, it
Oh
sounds
yeah,
perfect. I know. I was
perfect
like, dang it,
segue.
I didn't ask her my other question. Yeah, so we'll come back to that. I'm like, it's just
Yeah,
flowing, but
sorry.
no, don't be sorry. What people want to know, in my opinion, is what do dreams mean? Like in general. We've talked about the subconscious piece of it, but can you touch on a little bit deeper or something more? And then we'll go into how to navigate your dreams through the ultimate dream routine. And you just gave a little sneak peek at what you do, and I actually did
Hmm.
too. So it's like all just flowing
Yeah.
perfectly together, but we'll leave people with
Sure.
that so they have
We'll
actionable
close.
homework items.
Perfect. Yeah. So, what do dreams mean? To me, dreams are really an expression of my subconscious. They're a connection to the divine. The teachings that I'm very strict on is through the Jewish, like Kabbalistic perspective of dream work. And if you want to look into learning about it, please let me know, because I can connect you with some people that are great teachers. Some of them are podcasts, some are actually live classes. And
I just want to throw in there that you're not Jewish, right?
no, I'm not Jewish. No.
Okay.
And that's a tricky question or answer to give, because I feel more aligned with Judaism than
Yeah.
with the spirituality that I was brought up with. The lovely thing is you can learn it without converting.
There you
They're
go.
very open. It's Torah is a lesson. It's a blueprint for life, and everybody deserves to learn it if they want to. So they'll teach you if you ask, but they're not going to push it. So
Okay. I just want
yeah.
to put that out there because, like, someone might think, like I did, like, that was one of the first questions I asked you. Are you Jewish then? Or is it
Hmm.
okay, like, to not be Jewish? And I love that it's okay to not be Jewish and still learn all of these things and learn from them
Yeah.
and their methodologies and everything else and, be taught by them. So I just wanted to say, in case anyone is called to that, that they don't have to be
Hmm.
Jewish and they can still get all the learnings and the teachings.
And there does seem to be different versions of Kabbalah. There's Kabbalah with a K, Kabbalah with a Q. Some people spell it with a C. So just find what really draws you in. If that's what you're looking towards, the tree of
Yeah.
life, the Sephirotes, really follow whatever works for you. And I am really adaptable in my dream work in helping people in that coaching session to really just go with what the client's comfort is. I can adjust my language to be able to have them feel safe in what they feel safe with.
I love
So
that.
going back to what dreams mean, the way I was taught about dreams and those three levels of dreams is that it mirrors what our levels of the soul are. So we have, and this is getting into deeper Kabbalistic perspectives, we have parts of our soul that are stuck here in our body on earth. And then there's levels of the soul that go up and they get closer and closer to the divine spirit. And so our dreams, when we're in those first set of sleep dreams, the beginning of the night, those are our grounded, like our earthly, stuck in our body kind of dreams. The next level up is a little more esoteric because we're getting into our subconscious and it plays with the ideas that are in the subconscious. And as you go higher, the next one is more of your soul's purpose, your soul mission. So that's kind of the set of dreams you want to aim to be at so that you can see what your life purpose is, where you're supposed to be going. And those dreams can help with guiding with that.
Oh, I love that. Yes. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I need. That's why I want to be feeding my subconscious mind good things before I go to bed about the big visions and impact I want to make on the world before I
Yeah.
depart the earth. And if, part of that is creating a routine around that to help do so, and the dreams can help, you know, shift my subconscious and clear out what needs to be cleared out so that I can move forward, I'm all in.
Mhm.
All in.
Yeah. So then, of course, we all have different images that show up in our dreams. And this is where dream interpretation comes in. And there's lovely people all over the internet that can do that and do it well. I step back from it because that's what they do, that's their specialty. And
Yeah.
if you find certain things on there that really are like, I've heard a lot of people say that they have dreams of their teeth falling out. Great, Google it. Say dream meaning teeth falling out. You'll get an instant response for it. You'll get an instant idea of what it kind of means, which is great. And then you can also take it into further details of the dream. Was it in color? Was it black and white? Were you in a setting? Was it just your teeth in the picture? These kinds of details in your dream can paint a bigger picture. So when we're able to paint the picture, you'll get more of what it means to you, rather than a global or a universal meaning. So there's definitely universal dream images like water, natural disasters, staircases, houses. A lot of these have meanings that you'll find the same meanings wherever you look. But when it comes to deciding them for yourself, it's really looking inside and what does this mean to me? How does this represent me in my life right now? And being able to explore it deeper.
So I'm like, I just want to ask. So, well, first of all, to clarify, so you do not interpret dreams. That is not your specialty, right?
No, no. And I mean, part of that is there are lots of people that can do that.
Right.
But the way that I work, I'm a dream worker. So we work with your dream. All right, do you have a second for me to describe it?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay. So let's say Jen comes to me and she says, I've got this dream. And I'm going to say, sure, let's set up an appointment. She sets up an appointment. Then I'll ask her, can you make sure that you write down your dream if you haven't already? She'll write down her dream. And then when she comes to the appointment, she'll read that to me. And we'll be able to discuss feelings associated with that dream. We might do embodiment, the coaching practices. So we might do like feelings and what imagery really stands out, what's associated with it, how you hold it within your body. And we work with it in a way that we can either release the tension that might be there, or really, if it's one that's a dream that is exploding for them in this wonderful manner, we'll go to those big, wonderful places, right? It's really giving that, it's kind of like finishing the dream in real life. Or if it's one that we're working with things that is a little more difficult, then it's having a safe place to be able to discuss those difficult things. And it's very client-led. So if you don't want to open the door, we won't open the door. But we might look in a window, or we might explore the door handle. Because even there you can find details that can be helpful for where you're at right now in your path.
I love that. So that's what a dream worker does.
In my view.
And what you do as a dream worker, that's what you do. I love that.
That's what I do, yeah.
It's nice though, to have somebody to be able to come to a safe space and share your dreams, especially if you are having bad dreams. I was like, do I say it? Do I not say it? Like good bad dreams.
Unpleasant dreams.
There you go. That sounds much nicer. Thank you.
Still ends with pleasant.
That's brilliant. That is very true. So if you are having unpleasant dreams, which I do, I know a lot of people that do, and they're reoccurring, And so it's like nice that they would have someone like you to help work with them to decode those messages and do the work, the healing and transformation. Because you said you're also a transformational coach. So that's
Mhm.
just part of the process of all of it. I love that. And then what I wanted to know, because I have so many, I know you're not a dream interpreter, but you mentioned it. So I'm like, I just want to know, like, I have dreams about houses all the time. And then sometimes, I mean, houses I've never been to, and I could go to all these rooms. So I was like, it has to be something in my subconscious mind, compartmentalized rooms. Like I go in the closet, that's a thing, and I'm getting this box, and like, what is that? And then sometimes they're on the water, and sometimes I go back to the same houses. And one time I went up to a staircase, and that was like a past life. Like it was crazy. So I don't know, do you have any insight, just because I'm curious for my personal self?
I think you mentioned 17 different things in there. So
Oh my
let's
god.
start with the house.
Uh-huh.
And if you think about it, I know that you know a little bit of astrology. So even if you think of it like astrology, you have
Okay.
houses in astrology for anybody listening. You have
Yes.
houses in astrology, right? A house is actually representative of you, who you are. It might be one from the past, like an old one. It might be
Yeah.
one that's really fancy and ornate. I had a dream once of one made of marble. So like
Mm.
it could be dreams like that.
Yeah.
If they're rickety and falling apart, had those too. That could be more like instability of you, like you're
Mm.
feeling unstable. You're not feeling solid like the marble. You're not unshakable. You're definitely like, ooh, anything could topple me over. And that's again, like these aren't bad images. They're just a way to be able to recognize where you're at and be able to work from it.
Yeah.
Um, I think you also mentioned water and being on water.
Like a house on the water. Yeah, like a lake.
Oh, a house on the water. Okay.
Not like
So
the
what
house is like lakefront.
that's cool.
There, that's a better
Lakefront.
description.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
So it's not
lakefront.
like a
Yeah.
houseboat.
No, no.
So water is emotions. And that
Mm.
again is also like an astrology symbol, right? You've got Aquarius and they're I'm not sure that's air. Yeah.
That is
Okay.
air, but it looks like waves.
It
But
does look
yes,
like waves. Yeah.
Pisces,
So
Cancer, Scorpio, all water signs.
yeah. So water is emotion. And then like deeper water would be deeper emotions. I had a recurring dream of diving into water. I was in a room with diving teachers. I was a diving teacher too, like the fancy Olympic divers.
Ooh.
And we just kept showing each other what we did. Hey, check out my dive. Oh, and we'd like cheer each other on. But it was a square room and a square pool and teal color, and we were divers, and we would do this like somersault into the water. Then we'd come back out, and somebody else would go. But it's like this somersaulting. So
Did you ever figure
yeah,
out
so
what it meant?
Um, that was when I was coaching, when I was learning my coaching. So I was amongst
Mm.
like-minded people. We were all coaches, diving
Yep.
coaches, and
Yep.
we were coaching is a very emotional thing that you're doing, right? You're taking people into a deep dive
Yeah.
to turn themselves around and come out whole, right? So it was like
Ooh.
transformational life coaching. So it's we were each taking turns, we were diving in, doing a backflip in the water to go back, to come up healed. Spirals are kind of my thing
Wow.
too.
Yes,
And
because your
then
business is called Spiral Embrace.
oh, I'm dropping things.
Man down.
I actually painted this
Ooh,
because
that's
of
beautiful.
the teal color and the back. Oops, this way. Nope, I can't do that backwards. The back dive. So this actually was activating my dream by putting it onto a canvas, which is square.
Hmm.
And the, yeah, so
So it's symbolic of your dream and making that dream a reality to come true. Ooh, that's hot.
yeah, bringing your dream into
What?
real life. And there's beautiful, wonderful purple people that do that as well, that have these wonderful ways of activating dreams. And that's their whole business is activating your dreams,
That is
whether
so
it's
cool.
writing or craft or in your day.
Dreams just have so much information, whether the dream is unpleasant or pleasant. sometimes I have dreams that I mean, I know we're not talking about I'm gonna have to get a dream interpreter on just to interpret my own dreams. Like what
I can help you with that.
Oh, yes. Yes,
I
please. I
can
would
still
love
help
that
with it.
connection.
Yeah. But you're not
Oh,
going to
wait.
get a
Help
type
with
up.
it.
I'm not going to type up what your dream means and be able to
Okay.
break it all down. It's really we go in and we talk about it and it's like a therapeutic session.
Okay. Oh, so you can do
Yeah.
it. Okay. But it's just
Yeah.
not your focus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm
Well,
not
I'm like,
specifically saying this dream image means that and da 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 da. Yeah.
all right, I want to know because I know I'm not the only one. Like when you have an intimate dream with somebody that you used to date or be involved with, and it's like way over, you feel like it's healed and it's over with. Or sometimes it's someone that I've never been involved with, but like maybe I've known for a long time. And I'm like, why does this person keep coming up? You know, any
Hmm.
thoughts on that? Because I know I'm not the only one.
No, you're not. Don't worry. So looking at other people in your dream, because you're not alone, you're with somebody else, right?
Hmm.
Every person that shows up in your dream is them, it's you, it's both of you, and it's neither of you.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's where like multiple dream interpretations help, or like multiple perspectives that looking at the same dream from a different viewpoint is really helpful. So I wouldn't necessarily go and call the person, although I do that. Not necessarily in this situation, but I do sometimes call people when they're in my dreams. Um, but it's really like, what aspect of that person do you embody, or what do you want to embody of that person, or what do you want to take as a lesson from them in that moment? So other people in your dream, especially if it's somebody either significant or it's like a significant portion of the dream, like that one's pretty emotional, like having a relation with somebody in your dream can really pull at your emotions and it can be really significant and it's apparent enough because you remembered it. And so I would I would probably do a journaling activity with that one and write
Hmm.
down the person's name and if you know it, or like if it's an acquaintance, like what are some of the acquaintance relation, like what kind of attributes do they carry? What is their personality type? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Why do you or do you not like them? It's really finding that deeper emotional or deeper um, like soul connection, more to be able to examine that connection in you. So it's really about you. Your dream is
Yeah.
about you. And what do you carry? Do you want to embody more of that person's personality or less? Or do you want it to come out in a certain circumstance in life?
Yeah, so what I had been told by someone, I don't remember if they're a professional or if it was just someone's opinion, but it was like you probably like and want those qualities in your future partner. Like you want to carry them with you. And, I'm single currently. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like that would make sense. And you just basically said some of the same thing. Or maybe it's I want
Mm-hmm.
to embody those things within myself. So yeah, that's really interesting. And that sparks another question for me. So like when people have dreams, what what do they do? What's the best thing to do with them? Like they had this dream and then they're like, "What do I do next?"
What's your comfort level? If you're comfortable with dreams, like if you're just learning about it and you're at that beginning stage, I think writing down your dream when you first wake up is the number one step. You lose a lot of your dream as the day goes on. In fact, within the first 10 minutes, you lose like something like 40 or 40% of your dream, something astronomical. It's crazy. And try and write it down in first person, present tense. I'm watching a cat chase a feather, you know, whatever your dream is. And write it down first person, present tense, and try and capture as many of the details as you can. if you're writing down that you see a cup, what color is the cup? Is it a big cup? Is it a small cup? What are your feelings about the cup? That can all be looked at after you've written the full dream and just go back to the individual images. But having the opportunity to be able to record your dream is the first step you want to take. And then not everybody has time to be able to analyze or look at it right away. But if you were to look at it again, maybe 24 hours later or a week later, and be able to come back and look at it again, you can underline the different symbols that have shown up in the dream. Even if you do it the same day, that's beautiful. Underlining the different symbols that show up. So I believe it's any of the nouns, like person, place, or thing, right? So if there's a person, if there's a place, if there's a specific, one of the archetypal symbols like water and house and car, those kinds of things, you want to really make sure you underline it. You could do a brainstorm of what that image is later. Like, what does it mean to you? We have these different techniques of being able to kind of play with it and look at it and examine it in a different way and be able to get a better feel out of it.
Cool. I think that's super helpful. Well, there's always going to be dream working part 200. Like, there's so much stuff to it, right? We can't get to everything today. Thank you for that. And then I would say now let's finish up with what we kind of started earlier, just naturally, which is what is the ultimate dream routine that people can put into place to navigate their dreams? And I don't even know, can they control them? It sounds like they might be able to steer them a certain way. Maybe.
There are certainly people that do control their dreams. I'm more of a allowing what messages are meant to come for me come through. With the ultimate dream routine, I would definitely start with writing them down, recording them, and starting to record how much time you've slept. Did you have that dream after 3 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep? For myself, I write down when I go to sleep, or like when I approximately go to sleep, because you never know when you're going to fall asleep. I write down more or less when I fell asleep and then when I wake up, to see that time span between the two. I will also keep record for myself of any of the nighttime routines that I do beforehand. And it's kind of like a checklist for me. It's like, yep, did that.
Ooh, do you have that like made up? You should make that up as like a free gift or something.
I don't. There are lots, but it's very specific, right? If you have certain things that you do that's part of your belief system, then you would add it to your own. So I set up my journal usually with a blank page. When I go to bed, I'll jot down anything that has been significant for the day, maybe 2 or 3 lines, and then I'll write down the time that I'm going to go to sleep. And then I don't usually write down what intentions or prayers or whatnot that I do at that time. I'll do it in the morning because I want to just settle into sleep. But keeping the pen and paper right next to my bed so that when a dream comes, I'm notorious for this. I'll literally, with my eyes closed, pull the book over, write random chicken scratches on the page, and close it back up and continue with my sleeping. Yeah. So that's kind of.
So like even in the middle of the night, you'll wake up and document it.
I do. Not everybody has to. But if I feel compelled that it's a strong enough dream to do so, yeah. And this goes back into what you and I had mentioned a couple days ago, where I'm actually really good at deciphering chicken scratch notes.
Yes, she is.
Possibly from that.
That's so funny. And then you earlier you said that you so tell us about your specific routine. You said is it in the nighttime that you do positive affirmations and your prayers and who you want to bless? That was really cool. I think like those are nice things that people could put into their dream routine themselves if it feels good for them, right?
Yeah. So that was actually something suggested to me from someone else, and that was unrelated to dream work. And they just said at the beginning of the month, or on, I think it was on a full moon, you recreate, like you start over. What is your intentions for this month? Who do you want to bless this month? You know, those kinds of things. So it's being thankful, giving gratitude, offering a blessing to someone, and then asking for something for yourself. What would you like to see different in your life, in that order? And every night I just read it, and reading it out loud helps put it out there. And so it isn't really writing it out. For me, it's really just opening the page to that page and reading it. And then it changes every month because things change in life, right?
Yep.
Priorities change. You get things, you do stuff. Somebody needs help with their health or whatever crisis. So
I love that. That's
yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome. Do you
Yeah.
have anything else you want to add to the ultimate dream routine? So we kind of talked about what you do before you go to bed, and then how you prepare yourself in the morning when you wake up to have everything ready for you, and to have the dreams written down as the most important piece. Anything else?
Yeah. So yeah, in the morning, just writing down anything that comes. At the end of writing out the dream, another tidbit somebody taught me was put EOD, which is end of dream. And then whatever you write after that, that you remember during the day, you now have that distinct separation between this is what was immediately when the dream happened, and this is what I've thought about afterwards, because we can sometimes change the perspective when we've thought about it during the day, or remember different ideas or thoughts.
Yeah.
A nice thing to do also is take time to go back and look at your dreams. Generally, after 6 months, it's a good idea to go back and look at that month's dreams. And then you can actually catch more of those idiosyncrasies, or synchronicities, because you're looking back at it. In hindsight, you can see how things transpire. And that in itself helps you see what can come the next time. What dream was it that you said that you noticed recurring?
House dreams, and then sometimes I go to the same houses, and then but different things happen, I think. But the serving dreams, like it's always
the serving dream.
Serving.
That was the one.
Yes.
Yeah. So now when you see that recurring theme, that really can help you understand that recurring theme more for when it comes up the next time. And then you can kind of hone what that meaning is for you, because those universal meanings are fantastic. But let's face it, we didn't all grow up in the same lifestyle. We don't have all the exact same things that people from 500 years ago did, or whatever. We're evolving, we're changing, we're different. So it's finding what your symbols mean to you right now and here where you are, to help you with your dream.
Awesome.
Kind of like having your own personal helper saying, hey, you need to work over here. It's like your own personal psychologist. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. It's like a little sitting on your shoulder, like, hey. Okay, so you have a dream circle coming up called the Spiral Dream Circle, which we saw your spiral earlier. I love it. And it's going to be free for the month of February. This is usually a paid thing, but it's going to be free for the month of February. Tell us a little bit about that. Oh, and tell us the significance of February also, which is kind of coincident. No coincidences, but it's just phenomenal of what February is.
Okay, so I'll start with February and why I was let's give this away for free for February. Initially, I thought February was Mental Health Month, and then I found out that it wasn't. But the significance in February is we have both Aquarius and Pisces in February. Am I right on that?
You are correct.
I'm right on that. I'm like a little bit of an astrologer, but not really. It's not my, I love it, but it's not my thing.
It's like dreams being a whole nother language, so is astrology.
Yeah, for sure. So with Aquarius and Pisces, they're both very, Aquarius is all about dreaming big and being able to go outside the box and push your limits and boundaries. And so being able to host this, this circle for free in the month where you're going to be pushing limits and boundaries and being able to think outside the box gives the dreamers out there the chance to be able to try something new, be able to see what might be there for them in their dreams. Pisces is a little bit, that's the watery sign. And so it's a little bit emotional, but it's also extremely creative. It's all about imagination and thinking bigger and being able to explore things. So this is kind of the perfect 4 weeks to be able to introduce a dream circle where we can come together as a community. Now it's drop-in based, so you don't have to come every week. But if you have a dream and you want to figure it out, if you don't have a dream and you want help with how to remember your dreams, let me know, because again, I could just adapt what we talk about so you get some of that dream recall.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say as many of the words so people can start pulling them out, because Googling these things is awesome. Yeah. So
Well, but being in the experience of people is even better, because you're living it real time and practicing it real time. And you have the support and the connection of a community of people who are going through the same thing.
Yeah.
So,
and the funny thing is, now you don't have to share your dream in this group. I'll have it so that we have an example dream that we work with. But in that community, you'll find that the more you come, the more the community becomes a community. We can have what's called community dreams, where one person will bring a dream that is meant for a group. It's literally designed for the group. They share it. Everybody pulls pieces out of it. They all get a piece of it. They all understand it in a little different space, because it's all about community, very much like with like intuitive hits or like pulling the right oracle card. It's really nice to be able to see how these imagery and the meanings can come out in those community dreams.
yeah, that's really cool. And I know the power of that too. I've gone to a lot of workshops, and like someone gets up and shares, and everybody gets ahas and takeaways for their own life. So I could definitely see that happening with the dream world too. Very cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so the dream circle, the spiral dream circle, is every Tuesday in February, from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, and if you're Eastern Standard Time, which is that's where you are, is 7 to 8:30 p.m. If anybody
That's
wants
correct.
to join. How do they register? I think you gave me a link, which I will drop into the caption.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so on my website, which is spiralembrace .ca, I don't have the .com for that, spiralembrace.ca. If you go under the Spiral Dreamwork Circle link, then it will come up. I'm currently changing the wording on there so that even if you forget what the code is that Jennifer has for you, you can also find it on the website and just enter it right in, because having people start to experience their dreams is like the number one for me. Like, let's get people talking about it, and in a positive way.
Yes, yes, that was the most important thing that we started with, right? Was keeping it
Yeah.
positive. So that's awesome. Yay. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And if people wanted to contact you for your services or to follow like your social media, do you have a recommendation for them? What would be the best way for them to get in touch?
Sure. So I do have the website, which is spiralembrace.ca. I have an email, which is spiralembrace at gmail.com. And I am on Facebook and Instagram. I believe the way to find me is Amanda Shuman, or Amanda Shuman Dreamwork Coach. So it might be a bit of a long tag to or handle to punch
I'll
in.
get the links and post them up. So that'll be the easiest thing. So
Oh, that would be wonderful. Yeah.
yeah, that'll be easier. That's what we'll do.
Yeah. And on the
Awesome.
Instagram, there's all these tips on how to work on your dream recall, what things you can do or not do to help your dreams, like reducing your coffee intake or getting exercise every day. These little tips and tricks just to help you develop your dream you're dreaming. I don't
I
even know
love
the
that.
words for it because it's so new. That's the thing. Like we don't have all the terminology for things because it's this new, what, Young and Freud are only, what, 120 years ago. That, not even, I don't even know if they were that far away. Like
I have
that's
no
like the
idea.
birth of psychology. So psychology and dream work, they were both very big into dream work, and that's like modern dreams. Um, and then it wasn't discussed between then and like 2000 years ago.
Wow. That's crazy. It like fell
So
off and then it's back. It's back.
yeah,
Yeah, there are people that say they can't dream. So finding some tips like that would be really helpful.
yeah, yeah.
So,
And
okay.
you can find a bunch of them on the Instagram page and just scroll back into them and see what helps you.
All right, I'll put the Instagram link in the caption. Not the comments, but the caption of the actual video so people can find it there.
Great,
Yay.
thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Like I learned a lot and thanks Amal, thanks for interpreting my dreams while we were here. That's a great thing about being the show host is that I get to ask my own stuff.
Nice, yeah.
So,
And again, in these group settings, because it's like a little bit more open, more people there, I always will bring a dream so that you don't have to share in those settings. So yeah,
so people could
yeah,
remain private and anonymous but
yeah.
still come, and I always believe in the power of that in the universe. It's like if you go,
Hmm.
there's something there for you, and maybe your dream is similar to theirs that gives an aha, and then they could go do something about it. So yeah,
Yeah,
the power of connection,
yeah,
that's for sure.
yeah. And dream work definitely is across many spectrums of spirituality too, or like even with Jung and Freud, they're not really spiritually inclined. Like that was more the non-secular kind of dreams. But like,
Yeah,
look, shamanism has it. The different Eastern religions have it. Judaism has it. I don't know what other ones. Yeah.
there's a lot of
So
them.
start looking around. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll notice it more once you start incorporating it. So
Follow
all
your
right,
heart.
everyone. Thank you, Amanda, for joining us. It was
Thank
amazing.
you.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Have a happy Monday and a happy week. And we will